The Hawai'i Sports Radio Network on 95.1 FM and AM 760 presents Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ule Agbayani.
Good morning, BEA, beautiful people. It's Wake Up in the Den. I'm Ku'ule Agbayani, right alongside Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and a special YouTube live stream on this Tuesday. So yes, if you normally catch us on YouTube and you're not there because we normally are only on Mondays, well, jump on in and join us on the YouTube party. We just wanted to continue what was yesterday, because when we have massive wins for the University of Hawaii football team, I just feel like it's just like word vomit on Mondays because we're so excited. Like, I just feel like a puppy, and I just want to talk about everything, and all we do is talk about UH football. And you know what? To be fair, I feel like that's what a lot of you guys want to hear about and chat about as well, because this has been a good season so far. So it's almost like Tuesdays are kind of like our second Mondays, because there are still a lot of other sports to talk about, to recap, and then to get into all of that stuff. So we might touch up a little bit on UH football today, just to go more in depth on the Mountain West picture, because we just touched on it ever so slightly yesterday. Pull up kind of the future schedules for all of you guys. We'll also get into some college hoops. I know we had shout out to the person that commented on the video after the live that they were looking forward to Paul and I talking about the men's exhibition game on Saturday, which, as they should, blew out the visiting team. So we'll talk about that. And remember, tonight, though, the women's basketball team is in action to host Chaminade at the Stand at 7 o'clock p.m. Admission is free, so this is your chance to see the brand new Rainbow Wahine basketball team as well. So make sure you guys come out for that. We'll get into some high school sports update, a stadium update by Governor Josh Green, and the money that could potentially come into the new Aloha Stadium Entertainment District project. Kind of need that, despite what most people think. But yeah, it's a Tuesday party, and mainly, guys, it's a Tuesday party because it is Paul Brecht's birthday. Woo! Let's go!
Come on.
Now, since it's just me in here, I know we have a party on YouTube, and there's a bunch of you guys listening right now, and of course going to listen later on demand. Please do not turn away or tune out, because we're just going to sing real quick to Paul to start off the show on his birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
Positive Paul.
Happy birthday to you. Woo! And many more.
Yay! Thank you.
Something my family always does, just real quick. We always do, right after we sing happy birthday to somebody, we do strawberry shortcake, huckleberry pie, blueberry muffin, we love you.
Yay! Woo! Love you guys too.
That's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't even know how that originated. But that's something my family and we do for everybody when we sing birthdays. It's just,
it's
that's
fun.
kind of my thing.
I like little family, like, stuff like that in general, though. Yeah. I think it's fun where people have their own traditions. It shows how different people are, but also how we're all the same in some sense. I don't know. It's very fun. Thank you very much. Appreciate the birthday wishes. Very excited to get eyes on the Rainbow Wahine tonight for my birthday. That'll be a good time. And happy to spend it with the beautiful people as well. So,
do you have, aside from, partying it up today and this morning, and then, of course, with the watching some women's hoops tonight, what do you have any other set birthday plans, either today or maybe for this weekend? Because since UH football has a bye weekend, we we do have an open weekend in a sense.
I will be celebrating. It's also Cam Flabell's birthday.
That's
the
right.
HPU men's basketball associate head coach. He is a year older than me, though, so he's, if I'm old, he's decrepit.
Whoa.
This is only for people born on October 21st, obviously. Okay. No, happy birthday to him. Happy birthday to anybody also sharing the day with me. It is our special day. But We're going to end up, I think we're going to go grab a bite to eat, a couple of drinks later on. I invited out, I went out with Mr. Kyle Chinen and Mitch Ribeiro.
Yeah.
Last night, I'm missing a day here. And then I'll end up going out with my wife at some point this week. Probably not tonight, funny enough, because obviously it's a little packed. But, we'll celebrate throughout the week.
Yeah,
It's a good time.
Good. It's a good time. Again, starting things off with the party with all of the beautiful people that are tuning in. And mahalo for tuning in this and every weekday morning from 8 to 10. Hey, we got the Lord Schaefer in the house in the chat and says the party rolls on with the rainbow emoji. I got my parents in there that say, yay, happy birthday, Paul. Have a beautiful day with the birthday. What do you call the little birthday hat emoji person with the, what do you call those? Kazoo? No, that's not a kazoo.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know what it's called because it's I shouldn't do that. But
I know.
you blow it out, it goes.
We're totally
I like Sarah. I'm like, no, wait a second. I'm like, also we're on video today, so
That's why.
So I'm like, that looks a lot worse than it is.
It is your birthday.
It is my birthday. What is it? What's the song? It's my birthday. I could cry if I could party how I want to.
We do not work for the mouse here, so we
this
can
is
get
true.
a little crazy.
We don't work
for
the mouse.
Anywho.
God.
All right, so we're going to get into a bunch of stuff. I do want to start things off, though. Speaking of our YouTube audience, sorry to our friend Joey. I know towards the ending of our YouTube yesterday, he was commenting that, go Mariners! Heartbreak. I am so sorry. My heart breaks for the Mariners. You guys know that we were cheering for the Mariners in this series because our teams got knocked out. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go for the Mariners as well. That was a tough one yesterday. And as somebody who I told you guys before, quite literally cried 10 years ago, actually, when now it wasn't probably it was heartbreaking to watch the Cubs lose to the Mets in the NLCS that time, but it was a sweep. So it's almost like, oh, they just put us out of our misery. This was a tough one. This was one that felt like it was Seattle's and the away teams were winning, and you're like, Game 7, the Mariners Dodgers is going to be like fireworks, a series. That's what Major League Baseball, I'm sure, was hoping for just in terms of ratings. I still think this Dodgers Blue Jays will be decent. And, Drake versus Kendrick Lamar all over again. But, man, the Mariners, Game 7, leading in that game. And then, you know what? The guy that, kind of has some World Series experience with the team that did not make it into the playoffs this year. Well, the Astros somehow just wanted to show up yesterday as well. Just Springer doing Astros things yesterday for the Toronto Blue Jays. But can he also be the Dodger killer in this World Series? We shall see. But heartbreak. Love you, Mariners fans. Yeah. It's a shame because, well, at least they'll make it to the World Series next year, but they're going to lose to the Cubs. So this was your year.
I feel legitimately bad for Mariners fans because it was a magical year in every single way. Cal Raleigh, a phenomenal year to trade back for Eugenio Suarez after obviously let him go. And then he has the biggest hit in the history of, what is it now? Not AT&T Park. It's not Safeco anymore. What is the Mariners stadium called?
Is it Family something?
I don't know. It used to be Safeco. Anyway, that's what it was back in your day. Back in my day. No, but what a fun run and a fun team that had young stars, had older players who were producing such a fun pitching staff, but they run into a team who, in the Toronto Blue Jays, that just seemed to have an answer for everything at this point, where their pitching stepped up when it needed to, their hitting was phenomenal when it needed to be, and in a way, it almost makes sense that the former Astro and former Mariner killer and all of these things ends up being the one that ultimately punches their ticket back home and into the off season as George Springer. It's funny. I was sitting there watching the game, and everybody was saying this, but I verbally was like, how is this not Andres Munoz? Like, how are we not going to our best arm in the biggest moment, whatever? And of course, it sounds like hindsight now, but it's like you want to go to your biggest arm instead of Bizzardo. And Bizzardo, to his credit, has been outstanding for the Mariners throughout this run.
Especially when you wouldn't be in action until Friday. So you have, like, everyone, the plan was just you throw everything, your last bit of everything in there.
It is everything to win. If you need an 8-out save, you take the 8-out save, and all of these different things. It sucks because if it ended up working, if Bizzardo gets out of the jam, if that ball isn't crushed to left field, then we're talking about, man, what a genius move, and he had it all lined up, and this, that, and the other thing. So it really does feel bad for Mariners fans. I hope they're able to celebrate what was a phenomenal, phenomenal year of baseball in the Pacific Northwest. Unfortunate that it comes up short once again, but this is a team, hopefully, that sticks around and sticks together for a good grip. And on top of that, this Mariners team and the ownership group and whatever, they show that they're willing to go for it if the team shows that they're winners. And this year's team showed that they're winners. So if that continues on, I do have this positive hope for Mariners fans that this could be the start of you guys knocking on the door rather than, man, we just almost got there and now our window is closed. I don't think that's the case, at least as of now, as the roster is constructed. I don't think that's the case.
I sure hope so, because it was nice to see another West Coast team other than the Dodgers be entertaining, be
MLB
competitive.
Made the call, said we cannot have an all West Coast World Series.
Oh my gosh, but it was so good and it was so fun to watch. I mean, Brian Wu was amazing. Woo! And he's a favorite player of our friend Andy Archer. I remember asking him, who's your favorite player in the playoffs? And this was when the playoffs was just getting started. And he said Brian Wu. He said he was cheering for the Mariners.
Former Cal Poly boy, I think, right?
Oh.
I'm pretty sure Brian Wu is.
Oh, yeah. It's like, man, so close. But hopefully this isn't a fluke year. Again, it'll be Cubs-Mariners in the World Series next year. There we go, 10 years later. But if I can understand your heartbreak, I do, because I just remember that gut punch feeling. Again, didn't lose in a World Series. I don't know what's worse, but it's just when you're thinking this is the year we're going to get there. And, Cubs got there the next year and won it. So we'll see. I think that would be very, very fun if you have the Mariners, sorry, Paul, on the American League side representation, or even the Yankees, Yankees on that side, and then obviously
Take
you
us
have
back to the end of the 90s. Those were some fun battles, man.
Yeah. So it's been a good playoffs to just enjoy as a fan, being that the Mariners made it that far. They went to Game 7, but now, hey, you know what? You got the World Series is set between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Los Angeles Dodgers. You know what kills me about the Dodgers? Because as a team and as a franchise, anyone that's not a Dodger fan, we want to cheer against them. But when we talk about fun teams, I'm like, dang it. They, personality-wise, the guys that they have,
it's not a hateable Dodgers team.
They're probably the most likable. And this is, in addition to Shohei. They are so likable. When the Astros were good, they just did not have likable personalities, and then everything else came out of that.
The same.
But, I watched this Dodgers team, and I'm like, shoot, I like that guy. I like that guy. I love Kike. And obviously Shohei Ohtani is Shohei Ohtani. But they just have, you can tell they just have this very good locker room, and they're just a fun team to watch in the dugout. And obviously they're pretty good at this baseball thing. But
well, they have an all-star team. I hope they'd be pretty good at baseball. I'm interested in this World Series for a lot of different reasons. The Dodgers, in a way, I think if the Dodgers win the World Series, we might get a lockout. Not right after the season, but once the CBA is up, I think we might be moving towards that, because, and this is kind of what I was getting at with the all-star team, quote unquote, and it's funny coming from a Yankees fan, but even so, the Dodgers have taken it to a whole nother level where, we might see a true implementation of a salary floor and salary cap, so that you see a little bit more competitiveness or a little bit more whatever it may be. And that's not to say that there's not parity in baseball, because of course there is.
Also fixing the deferred payment situation if you're going to have a
but
cap
that's
and
kind
floor.
of what I mean is like they're going to have to do something about it if the Dodgers win again, because you're just going to have this noise that is coming from small market fans continue to get louder and louder and louder. And it's not unfounded criticism of the way that things are in the league. So I am a little bit curious, and it's like, it's funny because to me, it's all right. You can either root for the Blue Jays and have everything that like the Yankees have had forever, where you're richer than everybody else and like you can spend all this money. I am not pro salary cap. I am pro salary floor, by the way.
Yes, same.
But I don't think you get one without the other. So that's another conversation. But if the Dodgers win, I truly believe we move towards a salary cap era in baseball. If the Blue Jays win, I don't think we do. But then I have to deal with Blue Jays being the World Series champions, and that's a team in my division. So
you're so excited about that. That's why we brought it up.
It's a rough time for me.
We brought it up when it was the Dodgers Brewers, that if the Brewers were able to win that series, then they would punt the conversation for the salary cap to another era, because they're like, well, look, the Brewers were able to beat this team, but now, as you mentioned, and they made their way to the World Series easily. Like, they didn't even work for it. And we'll see what happens in this World Series. Again, a Game 1 Friday, Dodgers, Blue Jays. Toronto, though, is the home team, so we will see how that bolds. When you look at the futures market, however, to win the World Series, the Dodgers currently are the minus 220 favorite, and the Blue Jays are at plus 180, so relatively close there in the odds. Again, you're always going to give the All-Star team the edge in the odds market, because
I think it's going to be an awesome series.
I do think it's going to be very, very fun. If you're just a baseball fan, I think it's going to be a very enjoyable series to watch, and then they're just going to go cross-country the whole time.
The Blue Jays are hitting on another level right now, and the Dodgers, like I mentioned before, are filled with all-stars. It's going to be fireworks. It's going to be must-see baseball. From a true baseball fan standpoint, I'm very excited for it.
All right, last thing on baseball before we go to break. Want to mention breaking news that came out this morning that Maui's own Kurt Suzuki is going to be, I say going to be because it doesn't seem like it's signed, sealed, delivered yet, the way that Jeff Passan tweeted about it, but he will be the next manager of the Los Angeles Angels. Sources told ESPN. He spent 16 years as a major league catcher, as we know, and has spent the last 3 seasons as a special assistant to Angels general manager Perry Manason? Whatever. Hopefully, the one thing about having a crazy owner like Artie Moreno is you're willing to take a chance on a guy that's a new up-and-coming manager, so why not? Let's go, Kurt, with the LA Angels. There we go. Alan Mia's favorite team. Shout out Angels. And yeah, hey, Maui. This has got to be the actual first Hawaii-born general manager of MLB baseball, right?
He's not general.
I mean, not general manager. Sorry,
regular manager. Gosh,
excuse me.
You're trying to give him promotions already.
AKA coach.
I was so funny enough. Yeah, that's why it's such
basically, he's the head coach for our non-baseball people. Yeah,
he's Rich Hill
the manager
for the Angels
/ the head coach, but in baseball, you call them managers of the Los Angeles Angels.
I was trying to look this up this morning while I was in the shower. I did a very poor job of it because that's when the news broke. But I don't know. It seems that there are like a couple maybe in old times, because I looked up like Hawaii-born managers in MLB history. I think also Kai Correa was like an interim manager for the Giants for a little bit. But can I be honest with you? I don't count interim managers. I think that stuff's like, I find that type of stuff stupid. It's like it's an asterisk.
It's like,
whatever.
I have this on my
it's not.
resume.
It's nice for the person. Cool. It's awesome for Kai Correa to have the experience of like being a manager for however many games. But like, it's not you being outright hired. It's you being the number 2 taking over for the guy who got fired, which is, I think even they would say, like even Kai Correa would say, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, so shout out Kurt Suzuki, the new manager of the Los Angeles Angels. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back to talk a little bit of college hoops.
Hoops!
Woo! It's hoop season. Of course, it's football season too, but We're going to talk hoops when we come back on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network.
Stop. Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den. Ku'ulei Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and streaming live on our YouTube. Special Tuesday is another Monday when we're following a UH football win, just because we have so much to talk about UH football, as to be expected, because it is the talk of the town. Speaking of, it's the talk of the town when you guys saw what I was wearing yesterday. I had a UH hat and I had the Hawaii football shirt, the Lions Den shirt, and the auntie downstairs at Nippon Bento when I went in to get lunch. And I've gone there before with UH stuff on. And she, after she's getting my food, because she's this older Asian lady. They're so kind. Someone that you wouldn't expect to really keep up with UH sports. She was like, I like your shirt and hat. And I'm like,
big UH fan. Oh, auntie, we love you.
But that's how you know. You know that Hawaii football has arrived because, again, I've worn UH type things. I probably wore that shirt for sure in there before when I've gone to get food because it's right downstairs from our studio. And we've been here for almost a year and never once did any of the aunties say anything to me about my UH attire ever. Yesterday, I'm like, all right, we're here, everyone. Everyone is talking about UH football, and then it bleeds into talking about all UH athletics, of course, because I got a compliment on my attire, my UH football attire from Auntie at Nippon Bento. So shout out to you, Auntie, and it was pretty awesome. Because again, you were just reminded we're here, we have arrived to the glory days. Yes. It's still a long way to go, as we talked about, but I just had to share that fun story because it was kind of nice to kind of hear that. Whoa, look at! I was completely caught off guard and thinking, I'm not even dressed cute today. It's just
it's
UH
what am I wearing?
But that was really, really cool. So shout out. All right, getting into some college hoops, as we mentioned. We're going to talk men's basketball first. We'll get into some women's basketball a little later again tonight. Make sure you guys, if you can make it out to the stand and watch the new look Rainbow Wahine basketball team at 7 o'clock p.m. in an exhibition game against Chaminade, 7 o'clock, and free admission and free parking after 6 o'clock. So general admission, open seating. So hope to see you guys out there, and you can come celebrate Paul's birthday with him there at the basketball game. But I want to chat first a little bit about the men's basketball game, the exhibition against Pomona-Pitzer that happened on Saturday. It's more so if you guys want to chime in on this also. You guys know that we were covering, we had to do a Hawai'i football game that day. So there's not as much of takeaways as we can offer as usual, like here on out, because we weren't able to watch that full game. Did you end up making it to the stand at the end?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, so we weren't able to really watch it.
There was about 3 minutes left in the exhibition by the time that... Well, I mean, and this is with love and respect to all of our friends at Kalani and Kalaheo. What were we doing at the end of the game? We were taking, what the heck was happening?
You're like, let's go.
Well, the thing was, they were taking knees, right? But then they stopped the cover.
You missed Arksha completely being right from the tip-off. He was asked, how much are they going to win by on Saturday? He said 40. And sometimes you take that as you must. Again, we will believe that this team is as good as what we see on paper once we see it. It's a pretty darn good start, right? You beat a team that you should, but also you beat them really, really good as you were expected to. But the fact that they came out and were able to, put their money where their mouth is, so to speak, is just this. It bodes well for this team just to kind of see where they are starting at.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this a little bit, where I understand if people are kind of like, why are you playing a Division III opponent? Or I understand if you're like, well, wouldn't scrimmaging against your own alumni maybe be better? All of these different things. Like, I totally understand the questions. This is a great way for Hawaii to start to warm up towards where they need to be to start the season here in a couple of weeks, right? Where they play a Division III program, which is led by a 38-year program. It's a good Division III program. And like you said, Hawaii did exactly what they were supposed to do, even on a night where they didn't necessarily shoot the ball exceptionally well from three-point range. And this is obviously talking to a couple of people and also looking at the box score itself. They shoot under 30% from three-point range. That's a number that I truly believe will be higher. Like, that's something that impresses me more, that they put up 101 points without really having their best offense or the best three-point stroke. They beat a team by 50 that they should have beat by 50. That's a step forward from last year if we think about those exhibitions early on. And one more number that I want to point your eye to is just 10 turnovers, right? And that's without Aaron Hunkin-Clater playing, who was probably your best when it came to taking care of the basketball and you have every excuse to be sloppy. I did take those away to be positives. Also shooting almost 60% from the field. Once again, against the team you should be doing against when you're much bigger, stronger, faster, etc. But there's it's funny. You don't want to give credit twice, but I will give credit once for doing the job that they were supposed to do. And that is more what I took away from Pomona-Pitzer's exhibition than you hopefully ramp it up now with Sham coming up this Sunday.
Yeah, Sham's definitely going to be a step up in terms of an opponent this Sunday, 5 o'clock p.m. at the stand. Again, another exhibition, free admission. But looking back, continuing to look back at this game, you had Isaac Johnson and Dre Bullock leading the Rainbow Warriors in scores with 18 points apiece. Harry Ruliadef with 15, Hunter Erickson with 14, and even Jalen Myers getting in on the action along with Isaac Finlinson, both with 10 apiece. So all across the board, everyone's kind of scoring over there, which is really exciting to see. You got even AJ Economo getting on the box score with 3 points, who we had mentioned that, I can imagine he's going to be worked in there when you have games like this that are a bit more in the bag, and maybe hopefully it work his way into a true rotation, because he seems like physically he's taken a massive step up than what we've seen the last couple of seasons. So we just continue to talk about that depth that this Rainbow Warriors team has, albeit barring any injuries. So Aaron Hunkin-Clater, please get healthy soon, and that's You did your injury for the season.
Yes.
And that is all we want. So should this team be able to stay healthy, from what people were able to see, I think the future is very, very bright for this Rainbow Warrior squad. I did want to talk about some of the other scrimmages that I saw go on. There was a Fresno State Cal Poly scrimmage. So teams, especially Cal Poly, who I think is starting to trend on their way up when they had a new head coach last season. Again, the fact that Hawai'i and Cal Poly were almost in that conversation of who's going to make it into the tournament, like that's something that was not discussed. My gosh, within like the past 5 years or something, Cal Poly has just been bottom of the Big West. But, they only lost by 10 to Fresno State, who comes from a very competitive Mountain West basketball program. So 97-87 is what I see here. It was tweeted by Gabe Camarillo. This was a scrimmage as well, but this is interesting. It said Clemson transfer Jake Heidbreder led all scores with 31 points, and he plays for Fresno State. I'm trying to look here real quick. Who led for Cal Poly? My eyeballs are Mosa.
Oh, yes. Actually, so it's funny. I did a little bit of like background on these teams. Okay.
Oh, excuse me. Ward was the one that led for Cal Poly with 19 points.
Even so, he's one that fans should remember a bit, where he had a nice early start to his career in the Big West. UC Irvine also had an exhibition. I can't remember against who, but I think they won. It was against like a P4 team too, I think. Somebody like that. That one was. I had to go back and watch that one because it was impressive. Impressive might be a stretch, but it was one where I was like, oh, because they had a kid, Arizona State, who was on UH's schedule. They beat 72-68, and in that one they had a kid who went for a kid. Once again, these are 20-plus-year-old, whatever. They had a young man go for 20-plus points. 27. Darren Saran, who transferred back to UC Irvine this past offseason after spending last year at Stanford. So that was one that have to keep an eye on him. Jurian Dixon, last year's freshman of the year, he's pretty good still. And they also got somebody else back, I think. But UC Irvine, surprise, still pretty good at basketball. Who would have ever seen this
still
coming?
Pretty good. And like I said, Cal Poly able to still to stay in the game there against Fresno State. Now we got to do a deeper dive and see if anyone was out or whatnot. But I think as expected, but at the same time, a Cal Poly team that could be sneakily good this season as well. Who, as we talked about, I felt they were trending.
Yeah, they were trending in the right direction.
So this will be interesting if they kind of become this sneaky good competitive team in the Big West this year. But yes, a surprise with UC Irvine. But
one thing on the other side of the spectrum, Long Beach State losing their exhibition to Point Loma, who...
That's the one. I was like, I know we're missing a game that we're talking about.
Yeah, Point Loma, who the Sea Lions out of the Pac West, who our HPU Sharks will see at some point this year, actually multiple times this year. They take down Long Beach State in a, I think, closed-door exhibition. Not great for Chris Acker and that staff over there as they try to refill the whole roster. Not what you want in game number one or exhibition number one.
Yeah, and to Point Loma's credit, they are a competitive men's basketball team in the Pac West.
They'll probably end up being a top 15 team in the country.
So they are good, but they are still Division II. So when we talk about, Hawaii winning this exhibition as they should, beating this team by 50 as they should, a Pac West Division II opponent, even if you won... just like with Hawaii last year, barely beating UH Hilo.
I was going to say,
you still won.
Even so, but you get an idea. Like, we got an idea that Hawaii might not be what they wanted to be last year because of those exhibitions. I think you might get the same idea from Long Beach State. And once again, Point Loma, very good. Very, very good program. Nonetheless, you can't lose that. And you can't do it in a way where it's like, it's not a last second losing on a buzzer beater either. It just... Not a great showing for them.
All right. Well, I guess it's technically next week, but coming up this Sunday, another exhibition for the men's basketball side, 5:00 p.m. at the Stand against Chaminade. And then, of course, tonight, Rainbow Wahine basketball against Chaminade, 7:00 p.m. Free admission, free parking after 6:00 at the Stand Sheriff Center. So we'll talk about women's hoops a little later in the show. When we come back, we will get back into some football conversation, but take a deeper look at the Mountain West, because we kind of just touched on it a bit yesterday, but I kind of want to bring up the overall schedule that some of these guys have that are on Hawaii schedules and all of that stuff in between, and take a look at the futures market as well and who will win the Mountain West championship this year. Hawaii. We'll be right back on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network.
Stuck.
And Ku'ulei Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, Hawai'i Sports FM, AM 760, Hawai'iSportsRadio.com. And, okay, there we go. Woo! Right as we're coming back. Because it was like, no connection.
I saw it. I was like hoping.
Our YouTube channel. Got to take off the commercial break. Thank you guys for tuning in, whichever way you guys are listening, or if you're listening on demand, wherever you get your podcast. Again, doing a special YouTube live stream on a Tuesday. Normally, you guys can tune in, all of you, the beautiful list of all the beautiful people. You can tune in every Monday on our YouTube. But we felt like, we'll just do another one today as well. And luckily, YouTube and the internet wanted to make sure it comes back. For during that commercial break as well. All right, wanted to get into some Mountain West football because we've been talking a lot about how Hawaii and manifesting that, hey, this team that we've been seeing so far, and again, it's like, yes, the wins are there, but what we have been able to see from this team offensively, defensively, limiting penalties, being able to answer when there are certain points in the game that adversity hits, or there's like these mistakes that tend to be costly. This is a new team, and the new attitude of this team and discipline and all of those positive ways to describe it, that is what is adding and leading to us having this optimism of, wow. And because they've done it consistently, they didn't just do it in one game and then the next game they all right, they're back to being the usual team that we're used to. They have been consistent in what they all the positive takeaways and all the fun football games we've been able to enjoy the last few weeks. And that's why we have this optimism that, man, this team can legitimately compete for a top spot in the Mountain West. And should they make it there, and even if we have to play at the Smurf turf, you know what? As long as they continue to do what we've seen the last few games, everyone continues to remain healthy, right? Like, again, bye week, so hopefully whatever Mike Alihado was dealing with, he can get healthy, and everyone can just rest up and prepare for San Jose State. But should they continue how consistent they've been and what we've seen, man, oh man, it'll just grow louder on the fact that they've arrived, and we're going to compete. Someone that totally suits up.
Every week.
We are going to compete.
Put my helmet on, and I stand in front of the television as much as anybody else.
Yeah!
No, I'm really excited about the rest of the year for a couple of reasons, right? Where it's not pie in the sky for once. It's not, that's just positive Paul talking about going to the Mountain West Championship if everything goes right. Hawaii is taking care of business through 4 Mountain West games to the point where they've given themselves the opportunity to control their own destiny. They play both UNLV and San Diego State. They get San Diego State at home. San Diego State somehow has only played 2 conference games so far, by the way. This is assuming they continue to win. What's to say they don't fall off a bit? what's to say UNLV doesn't have a small cold stretch? We just saw Fresno State lose to a Colorado State team that I still can't get over that loss.
A Colorado State or a Fresno State team that we barely lost to, Colorado State annihilated them.
Smoked them.
And we smoked Colorado.
The wayside because very, very good team who is getting healthier as well. If they get Bryson Barnes back for the stretch run, they're a sleeper team that you keep an eye on. But with the tiebreaker over them, with the tiebreaker potentially over UNLV if you win that game, this goes back to the taking care of your own business and having control of your own destiny. You play San Diego State, like realistically speaking, those four are your teams who are competing for that other spot in the Mountain West Championship game. Because I'll just be quite frank, I sit here and I look at it and I assume Boise State will be in the Mountain West Championship. Yeah. One way or another, whether it's they lose one game or they just run the table and win all their conference games. I think that is the team that you see in the championship. But realistically speaking, Hawaii lucks out in a way where they don't have to play Boise State unless they're playing for a championship. And you can get up. The juices can get up for that, you know? So it's not pie in the sky to talk about a Rainbow Warrior team with a legitimate chance to compete for a Mountain West Championship this year, which there was a point in the preseason where even I, one of the most optimistic people that you'll meet, even I was like, yeah, a Mountain West Championship berth would be everything in a season probably goes perfect for you.
Yeah.
I would argue not everything in this season has gone perfect for the Rainbow Warriors, and they have just as good, if not a better chance than I thought they did at that point at competing for a spot in the Mountain West Championship game. That is something else we should talk about as well. When we say Mountain West Championship, or at least when I say Mountain West Championship, I am not talking about winning the overall thing like gung-ho 100%. I'm saying they have a chance at that, but when I say get to the mountain, they legitimately have a good shot to put themselves playing for a conference championship at the end of the year, and that is insane to say out loud.
Yeah, and like you said, they're in charge of their own destiny because their schedule is a bit favorable, because they don't have to play Boise State, who has a second coming of Ashton Genty and Dylan Riley.
Refill every year. It's unbelievable.
But again, that's because they played a UNLV team that does not have defense. Like, Hawaii can light up UNLV's defense. Now, that's probably going to be, I don't know, the total is not out yet, of course, but there's going to be a fireworks game in Las Vegas. Of course, San Jose State and San Diego State are up first, but we talk about it being very possible for Hawaii to make it into the Mountain West Championship game, because when you look at the schedule grid here, you have a team like San Diego State, who that's a team that we're going to give a lot of respect to, including on this show. They have been sneakily good, but they have to play Boise State after they play the University of Hawaii. As we mentioned, UNLV had to play Boise State as well. You got Fresno State coming up for Boise State. So there's a lot that some of the teams that are pegged to be a bit better, UNLV and Utah State, have to play each other. Utah State has to play Boise. So there is a very difficult schedule for a lot of these other teams that were expected to be competitive in the Mountain West. And it's shaping up pretty good, as what we mentioned in the preseason, that, hey, because Hawaii has that favorable schedule this year, not only in terms of opponent, but again, just the certain teams that they play here at home,
when they're playing,
it's
all of it.
Again, they got the Colorado trips out of the way. Now they go to the warmer weather.
They don't have to go to Wyoming to close the year. Instead, Wyoming comes to them.
And Wyoming, that's. They're the sneaky good, not sneaky good, the sneaky team that I don't even know what to expect from this Wyoming team every single week.
I would be much more worried about Wyoming if we had to go there and play them. And it's much more, and it's not even to do with like the struggles on the road. It's the cold. It's the teams love to play better at home. Teams get up to play spoiler at home as well. And there's a chance, maybe Wyoming's fighting for a bowl spot at the end of the season, and that game is a little bit tougher than I'm giving it credit for right now. But that's, when we're talking about
Wyoming beat San Jose State last week, and it was a pretty convincing score, 35-28. And then they lose to Air Force this last weekend. So in a close one, 24-21 loss to Air Force. So that's where I'm just looking at some of these common opponents where I'm just like, I still think San Jose State, and I know Coach Timmy and this team is going to give them a lot of respect that they deserve when they go on the road to play the Spartan next week.
Every single team's going to get great respect.
But you're just looking at all these common games, and you don't really like. Boise are obviously proved that they are going to be Boise. Although I will still.
I don't think they're
stand
Boise
10 tones down on the fact that they're not.
Previous years.
That they are more beatable than I would have said.
Agree.
Especially by our UH Rainbow Warriors, and I'm not just saying that. Like this would be.
It feels good that
game.
it's not just like being a homer to say this.
Yeah.
You know, like it feels good to not be like, you know, we love our boys, and if they play at their best, you know, whatever. It's legitimately. Like, no, this is a damn good football team. And this is a team who can compete with anybody in the Mountain West. That's what you normally say about the Boise States. That's what you normally say about the Fresno States. That's what UNLV has become over the past few years. And I've talked about this a little bit over the past couple of weeks. With the Mountain West shifting greatly, Hawaii has a massive opportunity to take a stranglehold on top of the Mountain West, the new Mountain West, as all of these teams are trying to figure out where they fit in. Like, this is a big chance for Hawaii. I'm pumped, dude.
Let's go. Our friend in Boise texting in before we go to break. I was conflicted between Boise State and UNLV. This past weekend, wanted UNLV to win because they're staying in the Mountain West. But that Boise win likely brings the championship game here because they're in Boise. I was at the Mountain West Championship last year, and it was a fun environment, but was cold as heck. Yeah, that's the one thing.
Yep.
Although I will kind of bring back what you said before, and I'm glad we didn't see it in Fort Collins this past weekend, how you were talking about the Utah State game last season and the players like shirtless and like trying to prove like, we're not cold.
I always think that stuff.
Didn't see any of that stuff in the warm-ups. It's all business. They were
correct.
They were wearing like the warm stuff, and they were taking care of business. They were like, we're not going to Aura Farm at all.
Correct. Hit it right on the nose, 100%, 100%, 100%. They're not worried about all the extracurricular BS. They're not worried about image. They're not worried. They are worried. And that is another reason why we have all this confidence in them. It is because they are focused on the right things. They are focused on one game at a time, the game that is in front of you. Give your opponent respect. Go out, win each quarter, win the day, and let's go bowling. Let's go Bows, baby.
Let's go bowling and let's go Bows. We got to go to break. We'll be right back on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Alongside Dancing Paul here. I love it.
That's every day.
I'm Ku'ulei Agbayani. It is every day, but that was like the extra. Like you had like what do they call that face? I feel like there's a term for
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's stank face or something.
Yeah. That's what it is.
I don't know. I'm
That's what you
having a
got
good
going on.
time.
We're all having a good time.
It's
So
what
talking
I
about
do.
bowling.
Yeah.
Like Colin said, can't spell bowling without them bows. There you go, baby. All right, we're going to, speaking
bows.
of something that will affect the bows in the future, the Aloha Stadium and that new project. I want to give you guys a quick update if you missed it. Joining Sam Spangler on KHON2 for a little bit was, of course, Governor Josh Green. And there you go. Cat's out of the bag in terms of that person with a lot of money that lives in Hawaii that the governor apparently is talking to put a little sprinkle into the NASED project. So here is Governor Josh Green with KHON2's Sam Spangler.
One of the sectors in the economy that is doing well and projected to do well is construction. The new Aloha Stadium is part of that. Dana White just said that he wants to see Mark Zuckerberg build an arena in Hawaii. I think he's talking about the new Aloha Stadium. Any conversations in that regard?
Yes, I have private meetings with Mark, and he has been very thoughtful about this. So we would like to see what they built in Las Vegas happen also in Hawaii. They have an extraordinary training facility for UFC and then fight. So I'd like to have a UFC facility on the Aloha Stadium grounds. We're debating that and negotiating that right now. Also, I'd like to have a roof over the stadium if at all possible so we could have fights with, over 25,000 people. That also would be extraordinary. Dana came and gave us $1.2 million for homeless services, and that was extraordinarily generous. I appreciate that to no end, especially on Maui after the Maui wildfire. So as you could see, I'm working with some of these national and global leaders to bring resources here to us because we acknowledge we can't do it alone, but also we should acknowledge that the world wants to participate. There's so much interest in Hawaii. We have to be open to that to our benefit and also to share what we can do. We could bring in international friendlies on the World Soccer stage, the pre-Olympic arrangements that we have. Ultimately, NFL football games. I would love to see the 49ers. I'm going to be talking to the 49ers about a special agreement here for Oahu. I'd love to see the Chargers and the Raiders and the Rams all part of this. And all of you guys should then earn the right to play my Steelers someday here.
I was waiting for that one,
Gov. So these are things that are in the future, and we are really pushing hard because, once again, people love Hawaii and they want to be a part of it on some level. I'm just showing them that these are our values, and if you're going to work with us in a thoughtful way. That's the nature of these trips.
There you go. I'm reaching out
the nature of these trips.
to Mark. It's the nature of these trips. So we knew about the UFC and all that stuff getting involved. But that's for Governor Green to drop I'd like to have a roof over that so we can have that takes a lot of money. So
certainly made my eyebrow raise just a little bit. I was
that's
okay.
Because as we mentioned, the 22.5 that they have now, no roof at the moment, so they can expand. They're going to put a roof on it. That's going to take a substantial amount of money. Something that I've been crying about. We need covering over parts of the stadium. I don't want canvas.
Awesome.
Yeah, it
by
would
the
be
way,
so cool.
I know it would take more money, but this is a pie in the sky conversation if we're talking about bringing in additional funding, and if that's the case, where you can kind of attract the NFL, UFC, Major League Soccer. I mean, FIFA, anything in any way, shape, or form. Just think about the boon that is to Hawaii's economy in general, where, I don't know. It would be awesome. It'd be really, really cool. The roof would help a lot, especially as somebody who drove into the rain today. So
So there is the quick update again. That was KHON2 Sam Spangler with Governor Josh Green, and you can find it on their social media as well in case you missed it or want to watch the video as well. But we got to take a break. We'll be back for hour number 2 on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ule Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Hit the wrong way.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den, hour number 2. I'm Ku'ule Agbayani alongside birthday Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and of course, streaming live on our YouTube channel. Well, I shouldn't say of course, because it's just a very special live stream that we felt like doing. And surprise! So thank you for joining us on YouTube or listening on demand or wherever. But we are happy to be hanging out with you guys every single weekday morning from 8 to 10, and YouTube every single Mondays normally. But like I mentioned before, it just feels like after a massive UH football win, the entire Monday show is almost dedicated to football, which I'm sure you guys are so angry about. No. So we were like, all right, Tuesday feel like it's going to be a packed show as well. And it is. So we talked a little bit of baseball now that the World Series is set and begins on Friday. We talked some college men's hoops. We'll get into some women's college hoops in just a second. We talked some Mountain West football specifically and really taking a look at Hawaii's chances, which, by the way, I forgot to mention, as the odds are right now via DraftKings, the odds for the Mountain West Championship game winner, Boise State, no surprise, is the favorite at -190, followed by San Diego State at 5-1, UNLV at 8-1, still up there, and then Hawaii at 12-1, which I think at one point they were something like 45-1. So
what's our quarterback's number
in there? Oh,
maybe that's a sign.
Good connection. Like it.
Maybe it's worth a sprinkle.
Right at 12-1 too, huh?
Just a sprinkle.
That's You're always thinking of it that
every
way.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while, you come up with
This
a good
old man
reason
brain
to
works.
sprinkle a little bit of money on there. Well, yeah, we'll get into also some high school sports updates. Talk a little bit about some high school football. Look at the OIA standings. Also look at the what is coming up for the OIA Girls Volleyball Championships. So don't forget, you can listen to both of those matches tomorrow. First game set for 5:30 p.m. with the Division II Championship, followed by the varsity or D1 Varsity Championship at 7:30 at the earliest. You can either listen on Hawai'i Sports Radio Network with Chaz and Kara, or you can tune in, of course, via our friends on Spectrum OC16 with Felipe, and I don't know who's going to be there alongside. But our friends there that we always get to hang out with on these championship game days. Our next OIA football broadcast, presented by Ko'olau Federal Credit Union, will be next week, Friday, and that will be a semifinal game for the OIA. So we still got to kind of look at the standings and where games will be. I gotta make sure I bother Harold there, Harold Tanaka, the AD over at Farrington, he's in charge of football. So we'll get you the broadcast that we're going to do on Halloween, and then oh my gosh, football season is almost over for high school.
I know.
That's crazy.
The regular season's already, Paul.
We only have 2 more Hawaii football broadcasts left. That's crazy. And then, of course, as we mentioned, girls volleyball championships are already tomorrow. Wow.
Well, I've got good news. There are a lot of other sports that we will still be covering.
Basketball season is rolling along.
Yeah.
We got to text. And feel free to text us, 808-888-KGU1, 808-888-5481. Sorry, it's our texter. It's our texter that likes to tweet, that loves the laughing face emojis, which I do too. But every time there's a reason, and I always chuckle at when they text in. So I think this is reference to our previous conversation where we heard from Governor Josh Green with Sam Spangler, and just talking about getting that money to potentially partner with Mark Zuckerberg, UFC, build all that stuff, maybe put a roof over the stadium. We'll see. But once again, we have prime rib taste with Manapua truck budget.
Had me chuckling during the break.
Maybe we should have all the bradas with them thick okole chains donated to build a bigger and better stadium.
I'm screaming.
All who donate will have the bathrooms named after them. You win tweet of the day. Or tweet. I keep saying tweet for text. Gosh, you win the text of the day
funny.
Because that was pretty awesome. I'm sorry that my pigeon wasn't on point with that, though. I could have said it a lot better, but I just had to get through it first because that was really, really funny. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
prime rib taste with Manapua truck budget, cuz. Maybe you should have all the bradas with tick okole chains donate.
I'm screaming.
Bigger and better Aloha Stadium. Let's go.
Anything that brings us
I hope
I
hope that was okay with the pigeon there. I tried.
Better you try it than I try it. That's for sure. No. Anything that gives us a better stadium, I'm here for. So,
That was awesome. You ain't wrong. Gold only keeps going up. So let's just get those gold chains and we can build an Aloha Stadium. That is so funny. I love that. That is definitely the text of the day. Let me see. What do these odds makers? Oh, this is back to our football conversation about the favorite for the Mountain West Championship. What do these odd makers know anyways? Yeah, what do they know? We know better.
Oh, wow.
One of my favorite things to do on Sunday is to watch YouTube and see how a lot of these people were wrong about Hawaii football. Yeah, you know it. That's what we're talking about. Hey, I got validation from the texter. That's how, cuz.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
I did it. My pigeon is still stay good.
I was gonna say
still stay sharp, brother. No.
Your local card's still pretty good. It's still valid.
My Pahu card especially. I'm not. I might live in town for the last many years, but can take the girl out of Waipahu. Cannot take the Waipahu. Cannot take the Waipahu out of the girl. Let's go.
Oh,
yes, sir.
God.
All right.
What a world.
All right, we'll get back on track.
I was going to say, how the hell did we get here?
I digress.
Shout out to our texters.
You got me going with the pigeon. And
once again, if you ever want to get in on the conversation, shoot us a text at 808-888-KGU1. That's 808-888-5481. Or, like you said today, special YouTube stream. Get in on the conversation on the live YouTube chat. Our chat has died down a little bit, but I see a bunch of you still here joining us, so lead the conversation.
That's the main thing. As long as they're watching.
As long as they're hanging out with us, I do not care.
Also, yeah, going back, we're watching YouTube and seeing how people were wrong about Hawaii football. Same thing. Like, I enjoy it as well. And, of course, Paul and I enjoy validation, right?
Oh, yes. There is not a lot that I love more than being proven right or them making me look smart. I love being made look smart because I've been made look dumb a lot of times, Again,
when we're wrong, we just forget about it.
I've never actually been wrong. If you want, you can go back and try and find a time that I was wrong. Post it online. I will respond and say AI generated, but you're more than welcome to go back and try and find anything that I've said that's wrong.
All right, Paul, let's get into some Rainbow Wahine basketball.
Oh, dude, let's go.
Let's go. Tonight, we finally get to see it. Luckily, we do not have to. Paul does have to celebrate his birthday a little bit today, but we at least don't have any other radio obligations to be at, and we can enjoy some Rainbow Wahine basketball hoops this evening, 7 o'clock p.m. at the Stan Sheriff Center. Again, free admission. We encourage you guys to go out there by 7. After 6 p.m., free parking as well there in Zone 20. So you don't got any excuses not to come and show up and show out for the Rainbow Wahine. And not just them. They're playing another local school in Chaminade. So that'll be good to kind of support both teams, but also get a first look at this new look, changing of the guards, Rainbow Wahine basketball team. Again, the lone true veteran player because she's a senior who has been here the entire time, Imani Perez, looking for her to take a big step this year as well. And it's not just defensively, but I want to see her turn it up a little bit offensively. I mean, her sheer size, right? We just need to get her to get the a little bit of action. And then Ritoria Tamilo, we will see if she's in action. We talked about it a little bit yesterday that Coach Beeman mentioned leading up to the season, they are going to limit kind of a little bit of Tori's reps as they should.
I would assume basically anybody
what you're
who
gonna
has
get from her?
Like a light injury or worse will not suit up tonight. That would be my guess because one, think about how cautious this staff is during the regular season when it comes to injuries. They're not going to risk the season at hand for any of these young women for an exhibition. So I would assume anybody who is feeling any type of ailment probably won't be available tonight. Ritoria Tamilo, I would assume, is one of those, but I don't know that because I haven't been to practice
and they
recently.
wouldn't tell us anyways.
I was going to say, yeah, it wouldn't be shared.
But that's someone, yeah, either she gets just very limited minutes tonight, even Imani, just to be safe, limited minutes, depending on how the game is trending. Because again, you still need to beat this team. You
need
don't
to beat
want
this
to.
team.
It's an exhibition, but for your own, you need to beat.
You want to
Chaminade.
get your toes wet in a sense
Yeah.
of game action for this season as a team. This is what we were talking about with the Pomona-Pitzer versus UH men, where it's not necessarily that you're going out there and actively getting better as a basketball player, like, oh, all of a sudden my jumper is 1,000,000 times better because I'm playing in a game. But it is going to help you understand, okay, my teammate makes this cut on this play. When somebody overplays, she's going to go backdoor now, and I can make this pass here. I know she's going to be able to catch this in game at game speed because, and we talked about this yesterday and a little bit today, there is a difference between scrimmaging in practice game speed and actual game speed, even if it's just an exhibition. So I do think the reps themselves are important, even if it's not like a full share or a minute's load that you'd normally see for these ladies.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it more so because we talk about some of maybe the veterans just either coming off not maybe coming off the bench, but limited minutes. I mean, Jovile Fotu, obviously a fan favorite, but she's coming off of a little bit of an injury as well, right? So they want to be cautious with all of the players that they can. We talk about Daniela Kujovic, like Danny. She was turning it on last season and then she got injured, and so she's working her way back as well. But if there is any year where you're like, let's just play everybody, this would be the year. Again, 8 newcomers to this Rainbow Wahine basketball squad, and yet because you got to respect this team until you're given a reason not to. Voted to finish on top of the Big West again. It was a close one, but as to be expected. Again, you got to give credit where credit is due with Coach Beeman and the consistent program success that she has been able to build throughout her tenure here. So, but I'm excited because we will likely get to see some of these new faces get into game action. We got to see them in practice, but like you were just saying, it's different when you get to see them actually play against a different opponent. We talk about maybe Tori being out. Well, I'm excited to potentially see the Italian that we have on this team and Fiamma Serra, because she has some of that height and length, right? That maybe could slide in there for a Tori or wherever. I mean, Tiana Bond, another one of the Australians, and of course, Bailey Flavel that you've been speaking highly of since forever, since she was even maybe on the radar, I think, even before she was officially signed. Paul was talking about her. So that's someone that we could probably see a lot of minutes from, right? And then you have some of the transfers. You have Izzy. We forgive her now for playing for UC San Diego, but Izzy Forsyth for UC San Diego as well. So I'm looking forward to this game because it will likely give us a chance to see at least all, maybe, like majority, I can assume, but potentially all the 8 newcomers, and that gets really exciting to see how they play together now. Like when we asked Coach Beeman, she said they are going to dumb down the playbook a little bit in these beginning times because there's a reason why they're successful. I mentioned this before, is because they are a very complicated offense, yes, but even defensively, they run a very complicated defense, and that is why they have been so successful. So this will give a lot of those newcomers that chance to really get familiar with the system against an actual opponent other than themselves. So I think we'll see a lot in this game today because on paper, like when we were talking about the men's team a lot, on paper, they have a ton of talent. They have a ton of depth.
Oh, yeah.
But in basketball, you got to play exactly. I know it's a team sport, but like it's different from when I think of like baseball as a team sport, right? You don't have to all really move and get on the same page every single up and down in the court, both offensively and defensively. Basketball, you need to make sure you have that chemistry with each other should you be able to find that success that you can individually, but as a team, it's a different story. So I'm looking forward to all of these newcomers, especially to really test themselves with this system and test themselves against another opponent in Chaminade. Still expected to take care of business against the Silver Swords, but this will be a chance for fans to really see with this Rainbow Wahine squad, and I'm excited for it.
It's just nice to get an introduction to a lot of new faces. It's very similar to the men's basketball exhibition from the other night, where I understand it might not be the highest level basketball that you ever see. It's still going to be good. It's still going to be competitive at times. You're going to see some good back and forth runs, but overall, this is just a step forward for them to wet their whistle in a sense and get some of their younger players some opportunities, because there are a lot of them. I'm really excited about T. Bond,
yes.
Tiana Bond. She's another guard who kind of's flown under the radar, but is really, really fun from what I was able to see in her tape, from what I've been able to see in practice from time to time. Like, she's somebody who I think could be awesome. I think as well, how do last year's freshmen take a step forward? You know, does Rebecca Moores take another step? She's a very fun athlete. She's lanky, can be a good defender. I know she can shoot. Can she be a little more aggressive this year? I mean, Kyra Webb, who we talked about after the first practice, college body in terms of her strength. So I'm excited to see how true that is, because kind of what you were saying, they're good on paper, but one bad thing about sports, I don't know if you know this, they don't play the game on paper. Nope. They actually never have. So you got to go out there and you have to play, and this is an opportunity that I'm sure they're chomping at the bit. We got an opportunity to chat with Coach Beeman last week, and her eyes lit up when I asked her about, like, hey, what do you think about being able to play somebody else next week? And it's like, it's what I'm saying in terms of, it's always good to play against someone else. It's always good to start to feel like you're getting better, more cohesive as a team. And I don't know, it's just nice not to have to go against each other, Yeah. Because we think we're competitive. I'm sure these ladies are just as if, so I can imagine that it's kind of the same for them.
Yeah, I also don't want to count out what this experience is for Chaminade as
well,
be awesome.
Right?
Because we're used to UH and HPU playing every single season, it feels like. But Chaminade, they really rarely ever have this opportunity to play in the Stan Sheriff Center, to play against a very, very good program. And they're a team that really needs to figure things out as well. They lost a couple of their top players from the last couple of seasons, so they're almost in rebuilding mode, where it's a little separate than what we anticipate we'll see from HPU next week, where they have just loaded up in talent for the Sharks. But Chaminade, this will be a good way to try to maybe figure out some pieces that needs to be figured out. So I think this is the experience for the Silver Swords, again, playing in the arena against just a top team in the Rainbow Wahine, really testing yourself, especially, yes, as a team sport, but individually, like whoever your assignment is on. I'm like the competitive person where it's like, all right, let me see how much I can keep up with this Division I player, right? Like, that's
Absolutely.
fun when you're in the lesser division. Like, individually in basketball, you're like, let me see if I can take her to the hoop, or let me see if I can put a block on her. And then you remember those experiences. So I'm very much looking forward to this opportunity for Chaminade, again, because they didn't get it every single year like we've seen with HPU.
But that's part of the reason why it's also a useful exhibition, and it's a useful scrimmage, and it's useful for the Rainbow Wahine to be playing against somebody else, because you get that additional effort. You get the full thing, where sometimes against Division I's you don't even get that. You get these exhibitions where they hold players out, and it's like, I don't know, it's essentially a glorified practice.
Yeah.
This is going to feel like an actual game because of the effort that Sham will give. It'll be a good time. I'm very excited to see it. Hope to see everybody out there tonight. Once again, free exhibition. Why wouldn't you go?
Yeah, free basketball and free parking after 6 o'clock there in Zone 20.
I can't believe everybody's coming together to celebrate my birthday.
That's exactly what's happening,
and
Paul.
they're having a basketball game in my honor.
See? It's birthday Paul here for the basketball game. We wouldn't have it any other way here in Hawaii. Maybe if they tie.
Imagine. Oh my God.
Actually, maybe not. That just would not be a good conversation tomorrow for the Rainbow Wahine if they don't.
Not.
Yeah, that's okay. Take that back. I hope Chaminade, though, gets the experience that they need. All right, we're going to take a break. We hope to see you guys tonight at the Banco Arena at Stan Sheriff Center for Rainbow Wahine basketball against Chaminade in an exhibition, 7 o'clock p.m. Free admission, free parking after 6. We'll be back on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ule Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den. Ku'ule Agbayani and Paul Breck jamming it out here on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, hawaiisportsradio.com, and streaming live on our YouTube channel. Thank you for hanging out with us on this special Tuesday YouTube live stream. Normally it's every single Monday, but every now and again we'll have a surprise YouTube, and we're dubbing this, it's the party because it's Paul Breck's birthday, so it's a party YouTube / our Monday part 2, trying to get you caught up with everything happening in local sports. Want to get into now some high school sports updates as that's going on. We have the OIA Girls Volleyball Championships happening tomorrow that you can listen to right here on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network. Chaz Mihara and Kara McLean with the call. So just to get you caught up with what you may have missed, Lelehua and Roosevelt are in the Division II Championship. Going back to last week in the semifinals, Lelehua had beat Waipahu to punch their ticket into the championship, and Roosevelt over Waianae. So Lelehua and Roosevelt tomorrow evening, 5:30 p.m. is the match start. So you can listen here, or you can tune in to our friends on Spectrum OC16 if you have them. And then looking over at the Division I side, again, everything getting settled yesterday in the semifinals. It was Kahuku over Campbell in one semifinal, a sweep over Campbell. So they're in the OIA Division I Championship. And then Mililani falling to Moanalua. So they move on. Moanalua na Menehune do. So it'll be Kahuku and Moanalua in the OIA Division I Girls Volleyball Championship match. That game to follow, of course, Division II. And 7:30 p.m. is the earliest start. So we always like to kind of mentally prepare that we are going to be there very, very late. So we will have another clope-in likely tomorrow into Thursday morning. It'll be a busy week for all of us, but we wouldn't ask for it any other way. So tomorrow evening, again, you can tune in beginning at about 5:20-ish on Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, or, of course, with shout out to our friends at Spectrum OC16 as well. But, you know, that first game, driving around, tune into Hawai'i Sports Radio Network. So Roosevelt and Lelehua in Division 2, and Kahuku and Moanalua in Division 1 for your OIA girls volleyball titles. All right, I want to get into now some football. As we mentioned, we were out there last week, Saturday, calling the Kalaheo and Kalani game, a game in which they were having fun in the end there. They wanted to keep you guys there, Paul. That's exactly what it was.
Oh, it was so funny, dude. I legitimately couldn't believe. I looked at Kyle like 4 times, like, are they messing with us? Like, is this a big joke? Where are the cameras? This is pranks. Because to Kalaheo's credit, they did everything that they needed to do to seal up the game.
Yeah.
All they needed to do was take a knee. And they just wouldn't take a knee. I'm like, what are we doing? Oh, it was funny. It was a great football game.
I was going to say, because it was still a close battle, 21-14 over Kalani.
Which was why I was like, why are we screwing around?
Yeah.
I'm like, just take the knee and take the win. No, it was a great football game, like you mentioned. 21-14, Kalaheo takes down Kalani. Kalaheo locks up the number 2 seed in OIA's Division 2 ranks, which, by the way, those might end up being a battle. I know Roosevelt always good. But as Kyle says, you know, in the deuce, in the OIA deuce, you always expect the unexpected.
And playoffs, anything can happen, because Roosevelt was able to beat Kalaheo a couple of games ago, 35-6. So not that much of a close competition. But again, anything happens in the playoffs. All
it takes is just one night, one good game, one off game. Somebody has a bad lunch, whatever it may be. There are plenty of factors that go into it. That's why they play the game. We talked about it, I mean, was it earlier this segment or earlier this hour at the very least? There's a reason they don't play the games on paper, Koo. They play the actual games. So they played the entire regular season, but there's still the postseason to figure out. So OIA, I mean, honestly, all the different islands, all the different leagues, all the different divisions. I'm really excited to see where it ends up, because I've gotten a chance to see a little more high school football this year than I have in previous seasons. It is pretty wide open across every single division. Yep. It's pretty awesome.
And Michael Esquero actually had a chance to catch up with Kalaheo head football coach Jameson Lee following that game. So here is what he had to tell our Michael Esquero.
All right, Coach Jamo, your third year as the head man of this program. You guys have constantly made steps, right? First year, kind of missed it. And then last year, coin flip. But this year, you guys left no doubt being the number 2 seed. Talk about how far this program has come along.
To me, it's come very far. Honestly, the first year when we took over, everyone was happy to lose by 7 points, and so we made strides. Last year, we expected to win, and we wanted to win. They wanted to learn and win. This year, we just wanted to carry forward that culture and expectations for the boys, and they've been doing a good job at coming in, putting in the work day in and day out since the off season, and living up to the standard that we put for them.
And you talk about expectations, right? I felt like on paper last year's roster may have been better, but this year it seems like the younger kids and the younger players, you guys have really developed them so that they are standout contributors.
Right. So they really developed these guys that's here now, the seniors. They've been with me for 3 years, so they know what to expect. They're our leaders. They're the ones carrying out the stretches, player-led stretches and drills. So they know what the expectation is. They hold each other accountable. So this third year is a bunch of kids that knows what to expect. The first year they didn't know what to expect. The second year we were still trying to implement it. This year all the expectation is known, the standards is known, and we just live up to it.
No, you guys have a lot of players going both ways. I mean, that's just standard for most Division II programs. But when you guys get a bye week, how big is that for a program like yours, knowing that you have the week to recover?
That's really big for us. We try to use the off days to recover. We try to recover on the Mondays. But when we have Friday games, we have no choice but to go. So when we have a bye week, we want to take full advantage of that and really, we really want to get everybody into recovery mode and prepare for our next opponent.
Yeah, I think based on the standings, I think you guys might be playing Pro City. Yep. What is your thoughts on that matchup?
They're a good team, man, and they just came back from the D1. The other year, they were undefeated. They're the number 1 seed, so they know how to win. They've been there before, so we're still new to this. This is our, second year in it, but we're still new to playoff football. We got to learn how to play in it. We got to learn how to play late in the postseason, and they've been doing it for years. So, very well coached team. We got to go out and they actually had a comeback win against Castle City. They know how to do with adversity. So, really good team that we got to go out and try to beat.
I got to ask you about Sean, right? Because he's been on this team for a long time. I think a sophomore, just dominating sacks, but it seems like he was playing linebacker for you in this game, and seems like I'm like, oh, why is he playing linebacker? But that's kind of showed he has to sacrifice. But just kind of talk about him because he's also on the O-line.
Mm-hmm. He's a very selfless player. He knows what's expected of him, and he takes that role seriously. So wherever we put him, he's ready to go. And everything is yes coach with him. And so we got to put him center, tackle. We put him running back, linebacker, D-line. Everything is yes coach. Let me know what you need, and he'll do it and get it done. He's really a workhorse for us.
And then your quarterback, right? They came over from Castle.
Right.
You're a former Castle quarterback, so kind of talk about that relationship and him coming along in your system.
Yeah, we do have that relationship. Me and all my Castle players that I trained or I have relationships with, it's just that one bond we have as Castle players, right? And for him to come here and trust, the program and really the unknown, right? He went from a team that went into the playoffs. They were top. They were tied for first last year to coming to a team that had to coin flip. He took a leap of faith, and my job was to make sure that he made the right decision. And even with everybody else that's here, my job is to make sure they make the right decision, even if they just want to come here and play football, just so that when they leave here, they're better humans, they're better men. And the football stuff will come later, yeah. So it's good. We have that relationship. He can take all the coaching. It can be hard on him. Nothing's personal. Can joke around. So just a good guy. Everybody loves him. Gets along well with this team.
Thanks, Coach.
And that was our Michael Esquero with Kalaheo head football coach Jameson Lee following their win against Kalani on Saturday. All right, so here is how the OIA standings are. Now that the regular season is over, here is what the final standings are, at least the top half of each. In the Open, you've got Kahuku, who is undefeated, and then Mililan, and undefeated in league play. Kahuku, Mililani, Kapolei, Campbell, and then in Division 1, you have Kailua at the top, and then Waianae, Waipahu, Aiea. And in Division 2, as we were talking about, Roosevelt undefeated in league play. play, and then followed by Kalaheo, Pearl City, and Castle. So this is how, shout out again to our Michael Iscaro, always keeping us updated with this. Yeah, I remember he sent us the OIA semifinal matchups that are happening October 31st and November 1st. Again, we'll get back to you guys and let you know which game we are broadcasting for the semifinal that will be on October 31st. Nice little Halloween football that we have here. In the open division, Campbell will play at Kahuku, Kapolei at Mililani. Division 1, you got Waipahu at Kailua, which I heard that was a good game. So we will see if Waipahu can get the get back, as we were talking about. Anything can happen in the playoffs because Kailua, they were able to get that win over Waipahu to close out the regular season, 22-15 over the Marauders. So this is going to be an interesting one, and one that you would hope would have been the championship game maybe, but we will see. I know a lot of Waianae fans are like, no. This is ours as well. So Aiea will be at Waianae again, that other semifinal in Division 1, and then in Division 2, it'll be Castle at Roosevelt, and then Pearl City versus Kalaheo in Division 2. And once again, we will let you know which game we are broadcasting on October 31st. So playoff time, Paul.
Playoffs?
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 Come on, playoffs. Woo-hoo.
I just want to win a game. No, I'm serious. I just want to win a game, Koo.
Want to win a game. All right. All right. So there's your update for Hawaii Sports. Again, tune in tomorrow for girls volleyball championship action on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network beginning at 5 o'clock p.m. We're going to take a break, or 5:30 p.m., excuse me. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Who doesn't love a good
Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to all of you, the beautifulest of all the beautiful people. It's Wake Up in the Den, Ku'ulei Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, on demand wherever you get your podcasts, and streaming live on our YouTube channel, or on demand if you catch it later. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Almost time to head on out of here and get ready for Rainbow Wahine basketball,
It's
which
crazy.
is so awesome to think. And Paul's going to go enjoy his birthday celebrations and his birthday party with all of you at the
It's gonna be great. We're all getting
we
together.
rented it out for you, Paul.
It's incredible. UH did it just for me.
Basketball game and everything. No, but we appreciate you guys for tuning in, and that is why you are the beautifulest of all the beautiful people. We'll get to some of your text messages now. Again, you can always chime in on the live chat whenever we're on our YouTube, or there is Caesar. He said,
here.
"Happy birthday to Hawaii's favorite native New Yorker." Hey, I like that one. Yeah, there
Love
you go.
you. Thank you. Appreciate you. I remember your birthday is in February. I think it's February 23rd. I'm not going to say your year, but I was paying attention yesterday.
there you go.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody in the chat, by the way, who has said happy birthday. I know I saw Chad Nelson earlier, another friend of the show. My mom was in there, your parents, everybody who said happy birthday. Thank you. I appreciate it very much so.
Caesar saying we got one of the nice ones.
Yes. Yes, that's one I can confirm on that front. I am among the nicer of the New York crowd.
Although Paul is very much like how when I say, like, watch out, I'm from my pahukas, because there are times when we are reminded that Paul is from New York.
Every once in a while.
So it's like, same thing like me. It's like, hey, don't let the titta come out here. Like, just don't make us angry. And we are like the nicest people that you will ever
I'm a nice guy
meet. Yeah.
till I'm not. You know?
In true New York fashion. But yes, more good than not and more positive than not. And we appreciate that, of course. Let's see, going to some of your text messages. Oh, this was earlier when I tested my pigeon out. That same person said, public school cred not voided. So mahalo to you that he gave a little shaka emoji to. I didn't get it voided. I'm glad I made the pigeon
still a
speakers.
card-carrying member.
Yes. That's all that matters. Every now and then when I throw it out there, that's all that matters. Let's see. Someone texting in. Oh, this was the conversation that we had to close out hour number 1. Again, you can go back and listen to it if you missed it. According to Gov Green, could Mark Zuckerberg really contribute to Aloha Stadium? ? He said he's in talks with him. Yep. Governor Green joined Sam Spangler of KHON2 and brought that up. It's kind of the tie-in with Mark Zuckerberg's tie-in, I think, with MMA, Dana White, UFC. UFC and Dana White and Max Holloway were on Maui to donate over $1 million to help the houseless, and which was huge. But Governor Green saying and they've brought up UFC before, but I think this was the first time that Governor Green actually said Mark.
Right.
So that's why I was like, whoa.
Oh, cat's out the bag.
There we go. Again, you guys can listen back to the audio or check out Sam Spangler's social media where he has the video posted. Another text. You just like to twist the sword on you, Paul.
That's okay.
Woody Johnson doing what he does best, being a poor man's Jerry Jones, praising Aaron Glenn and bashing Justin Fields.
They're right. I mean, like, the texter is correct because Woody, in a sense, comes from the Jerry Jones school of thought where all publicity is good publicity. He doesn't mind bashing people publicly. He's not going to mince words. He's not one of the kind New Yorkers. We'll say that, you know. I will say this. I don't mind him defending Aaron Glenn. I do think that that's important. One, it's a franchise legend. Like, it's a guy who means a lot to the franchise in general. You can't just tear him down after 7 games. And I know it hasn't been good. I think Aaron Glenn would tell you that it hasn't been good. But I do understand that. I just wish he didn't have to, in the same breath, just completely eviscerate Justin Fields. Because do I desire more from Justin? Absolutely. I would love for him to be playing better. I think Justin would love to be playing better. But also, like, I don't really know if being like, oh, he's not a varsity quarterback to the media is really good for public image. It's good for your locker room. It's a check that now Aaron Glenn has to cash. He has to go take care of that situation and be like, I still got your back, or whatever it may be. Like, I hate when Woody does stuff like this. I appreciate when Woody steps out of the limelight, shuts up, and just watches his football team. And I'll say this, because it's basketball season now. Happy NBA opening day to all those who celebrate. James Dolan, to his credit, as awful an owner he was for the majority of my lifetime, for the past about 5 years or so, for the most part, he has stepped back and said, my basketball guys are going to make basketball decisions. I'm not going to speak to the media. And you know what it is? It's been the least stressed I've ever been as a Knicks fan. So, and honestly, it's the most success I've seen as a Knicks fan. So, maybe Woody Johnson should take a page out of a fellow New York owner's book, who was also once very much so hated, still is not exactly liked, but, you know, has moved up a little bit, and just zhush, zhush, zhush. You know? It really is okay to just shut up sometimes.
I do love that full description there that's describing Woody Johnson because, like you mentioned to start that the texter was right because the 100%
spot on.
that describes the poor man's Jerry Jones. It's like, just stop. Just get
It's
out
okay.
of the way.
It's okay to not give your opinion. Like, even when the media is like, hey, what do you want to say about this? You guys see what's going on in the field right now. I got Aaron's back. I'm hoping things turn around. We're going to get it figured out for fans. There you go.
There you go.
Cookie cutter.
Yeah, maybe think of, I don't know, doing some kind of cool family discount or
Well, that's another thing. Maybe
stadiums do like those bundles where if you can buy like X amount of like popcorns, hot dogs or something. Like that's the stuff that the GM should be figuring out. Like leave the football to the football people and then figure out the business side around it and just make things a bit better for fans, especially if you're just down in the dumps at this point.
That's the big issue, and this is something that I think a lot of Hawaii fans can connect to in a sense where right now Jets fans are, apathetic about the state of the the franchise, and then they get, season ticket renewals in the mail. And it's like you feel bad because it's not the season ticket people's fault, right? It's not the person who's your designated representative and whatever, but they're the ones who have to face it when it's like, oh, hey, the team that sucked for the last 15 years, we just raised season ticket prices again. Pay more, please, to come watch us stink again, but maybe we'll turn it around. Also, our stadium looks like an air conditioner. Also, we don't have great amenities. Also, the game day experience
also, it's not your own stadium.
Kind of sucks. That's another thing. Also, we share the stadium with another team who essentially calls us their little brother all the time. Do something for the fans, I think. And, when you're winning, it's a lot easier to stomach when things aren't perfect or whatever it may be. Look no further than the Hawaii football program playing in a pseudo high school stadium, and the vibes have not been higher in half a decade, ever since I got here. So it doesn't take a lot. Doesn't take a lot. It takes winning.
Winning fixes a lot of things.
Who would have ever thought?
Like, what? Looks like we have a great stadium. Like it's so beautiful. Hey, everything's great.
Looks great when the score at the end of the night has Hawaii ahead of the other team. It looks just as good as any other stadium in America to me,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, that's what we love to. That's the best decoration in the stadium is when that scoreboard under the next to the Hawaii logo has a higher number than what's next to the other logo that's visiting. That's beautiful. It's like the most gorgeous thing to see. Fans are happy, vibes are high.
Anything else in my stadiums, to be honest, especially because my professional team refuses to do that. So at the very least, my college team does it. Thank you, Bose. Shout out to the football team for making sure I could celebrate my birthday this week.
Yeah.
Because
he's just not down in the dumps.
Could have been way worse. And instead, we're celebrating making a bowl. So shout out to the Rainbow Warriors.
Okay, my fantasy football team is right out there with the Jets. Well, I talked to you. I mentioned this to you earlier too. Like it's so. I am barely yes, I'm watching the Bears game, but now it's like my mental health and my happiness. It feels weird to not rely on Sunday because I'm already happy after Saturday. I'm like, and then the Bears won, yay!
Cherry on top.
Because I still don't think they're there to win the Super Bowl this year, so it's not like I'm looking forward to oh my gosh, they're Super Bowl contenders,
right?
But all this joy is now on the Rainbow Warriors because as we talked about at nauseum yesterday and today that. We believe that they can make it into the Mountain West Championship game. So that's my and a lot of other fans here Super Bowl at this point. That's their Super Bowl is imagining that this is a team that can definitely compete. Again, the best case scenario is Hawaii not playing in the Hawaii Bowl because they will play in a bigger bowl game because they will win the Mountain West Championship game. Again, got to take care of business, but they are definitely in control of their destiny at this point with the schedule. Any Mountain West opponent, any conference opponent is going to be tough. But there's no Boise State on there. There's no at Laramie, Wyoming on there, right? It's just San Diego State, who a team that is the second shortest odds to win it all, is here at home. So I'm getting chicken skin all over again. I'm just getting so excited. Anyways,
the chance is there, and that is all you can ask for at this point in the year. And this is something, not to bring up the Jets again, but this is something that Jets fans have consistently asked for over the past 15 years. And it's we're not asking for a Super Bowl right now. I just want to play meaningful football games into December. And for Hawaii, over the last few seasons, it's been, I just want to play meaningful football games down the stretch. The month of November has not been more meaningful since 2019.
Yeah.
It's time to party. Let's have fun. Let's have a great November. Let's have a great December. You know, there is so much good still on the way, and I'm glad that the Bows give us plenty to party today.
Let's bust out the kazoos.
Wahoo!
People just
Yeah, I
tuning
was
into
gonna
the
say, if
YouTube
you know,
will be
you
like,
know.
what are we doing?
If you know, you
that'll
know.
That'll
If
be
you
our
don't,
thing now. Kazoos.
Kazoos. You gotta go back
We have
and
to
watch.
tell our one friend that likes
Yes.
the
We'll share with our kazoo friends.
a couple more before we go to break. Let's see. Oh, this is the texter when we're talking about that New York. He said New York Kalihi, same.
Very much. I mean,
Pretty much.
we're all just one degree of separation away from each other.
Let's see. Oh, one more text saying, because we were talking about Governor Green earlier. Oh, a reminder, our texter that likes to tell us who's on Spotlight. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Governor Green is on Spotlight via Hawaii News Now today. So thank you very much. I'll definitely tune in. Oh, speaking of a special guest, Coach Timmy Chang will actually be on with our friends at VSiN, Tim Murray. And so tune in at 1:15 p.m. Hawaii time right here on Hawaii Sports Radio to hear the national guys for VSiN. Again, Tim Murray will be on there with Matt Humans and head football coach for Hawaii, Timmy Chang. If, during this bye week, gotta get a little bit of sprinkle there with Timmy. So 1:15 Hawaii time, tune in, Hawaii Sports Radio Network and hawaiisportsradio.com. We're going to take a break. We'll be back to close things out and have kind of a little fun conversation, Paul, and I want to pose this for everybody else, something fun that we saw come across social media. So I was like, I think I'd like to get in on this conversation for us. What's your biggest I was there sports moment? We'll tell you ours on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ule Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den. Kule Agbayani and Paul Brecht's closing it out here on HSRN and, of course, on our YouTube channel. Mahalo for joining us. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're tuning in on YouTube. Hey, shout out to Alex in Adelaide saying, good morning, everyone. How about them Chicago Bears? Yes,
Bear down.
Bear down. Let's go. But definitely it feels weird to not be as excited. It's not that I'm not excited. It's just, like I mentioned earlier.
You're not getting your hopes up.
I don't like live and die every Sunday now based on how the Chicago Bears do because I'm just already on. I'm on cloud. But see, you're on cloud 9 too from Saturday with the Rainbow Warriors winning. So it got me thinking because as much as we talk about, like if they make it to the Mountain West Championship game and they win, like by all accounts, we're going to try to go, all of that stuff. And if they were to win, it's like, wow, that would be my UH Sports probably I was there moment because I know UH has had a lot of big games. But I couldn't think of like a big one that I was a part of. I feel bad if it's escaping me. Like the biggest. Like I've been to some big games. Most recently, I think my most favorite game was that 2019 Hawai'i Bowl where Hawaii beat BYU. And like you said, Helicopter Wilson before he got to the end zone. That WAC championship, I think my first year or second year of covering sports here locally was really big. My cousin Mana was playing. I got a good photo of him with the trophy. Like that was cool. I'm like, what was my big I was there moment? I'm like, I'm not sure if I have a Hawaii one, but I do have quite a few professional ones. Oh, here, Colin saying mine was Arizona State at USC when Berkovich threw a Hail Mary to Jalen Strong to beat USC on the road, or when Arizona State beat number 5 Notre Dame at home. Well, that's right. Colin's a Arizona State alum, so hey, shout out ASU. But I was trying to think of a Hawaii one. So I know like for major sports, probably one of my bigger ones would definitely be for all of my hockey fans. I know it's probably a hockey one because I got to see the Pittsburgh Penguins win the Stanley Cup in San Jose. So I got to see the Stanley Cup and Sidney Crosby like lift it over and the whole thing amongst the sea of sharks. And I'm over there, the little penguin with my yellow towel and my Penguin stuff. Like it was definitely less than half the arena were Penguins fans, but that was really cool to see my favorite hockey team win the championship and win the Stanley Cup, see it in person, all of that stuff. So that was probably one of my really big I was there moments.
That's fair. Were you at the Christmas Day for the men's basketball when Javon hit the game winner?
Okay,
that's probably a good one for you as well.
That's definitely a good Hawaii one.
Well, we were trying to come up with one for you for that before. I remember there was a football game my dad and I went to back when the New York Jets were good. A last-second comeback win versus the Houston Texans. It was a very fun game that I was at. I don't know. It's like tough because I've been to a lot of really fun moments, but in general, it's like I don't really have like, oh, I was there for like a no-hitter or like something along those lines.
Ooh, I was there for Derek Jeter's final game at Yankee Stadium with the walk-off. That was cool.
That's very fun.
And it's fun when we look back at like the video that we're recording because all you see is the camera go, ah!
Yep.
Just like all shaky.
So baseball-wise, I've also been to, I was at Game 3 of the 2017 ALDS, a 1-0 victory by the Yankees where I believe it was Masahiro Tanaka threw a gem, went 7 innings. Greg Bird hit a home run. Aaron Judge robbed Francisco Lindor of a home run that would have ended up tying the game for the then Cleveland Indians. That was a really, really fun game. So that one's up there in terms of, I was there. I was also there for the Division III football attendance record at MetLife Stadium, that good big old air conditioner of a stadium. So that's probably like my college one where, we had 50K people in the building to watch Division III football.
I love that. I think I'm going to tab, and then my college one, like you mentioned, that Christmas Day game was pretty massive with, some of the biggest donors for UH storming the court.
Dude, just a memorable.
That's probably the best is that you see our friend Claire even on the court.
you see the storm of the court. You see I get the reaction from the SMU players still stuck in my head. All of it. That's the one that sticks in my mind.
Let's go basketball season. We will see you guys at women's basketball tonight against Chaminade in exhibition. But for now, we got to go. For Paul, I'm Kule. Mahalo for listening and watching. Bye.
Your brand new